Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Mourning Tea. I'm your host Ani. I also hate that rhymes every time, but I don't know how to say it in a way that it doesn't. So I am very, very excited for our guest today. Her name is Shelby. She just finished going. She's like, I'm nervous to explain what I do, and it's so fun. I feel like literally every single person is like that ever comes on a podcast. It's like when the teacher says okay, I'm gonna go to you and say your name. You're like, do I have a name? Do I know my name? Literally. So Shelby, say hi and tell the people what you do.
Hello, guys. I'm Shelby. So I am a salon owner and I am the CEO of Ivy League Stylist, and I help stylists around the world, salon owners around the world, basically actually get fully booked, build their businesses, create salons that are profitable, and run businesses they love without spending 60 million hours on it. So it's amazing.
Look, you crushed it. I don't know why you were so nervous about it. Look, and here's the crazy thing. Shelby and I, we've known each other for a bit now. We worked together a little bit last year. And the craziest thing was her and I were talking one day and she's like, oh, well, because you're mid-20s now, right?
Yeah.
25? 27? So you're late 20s. Sorry, bitch. You're almost 30.
Wait.
Yeah, I'm in my mid-20s. I'm like, you're in your late 20s, but that same way I'm in my late 30s. But that's cute. I love that for you. So it's so crazy because Shelby and I were talking one day and she was like, oh yeah, well, I opened my first salon when I was 19. And I was like, the fuck do you mean you opened a salon at 19? That's actually a crazy thing to do in general. And you still have the same salon today, right?
Yes. Yep. So when I was 19, it was a 6-chair salon. And honestly, I tell everyone, there was not much thought that went into that. It was more so I truly was booked out about 2 weeks at the time. My salon owners that I had been working for had decided they were going to close the salon. And I remember calling my mom one day and I was like, dude, I don't think I want to go in a suite. I don't know what to do. And she was like, open a salon. And I was like, you know what, bitch, let's do it. So it was crazy.
Wow. And then here you are, 8 years later, same salon.
Same salon. We've expanded. So we now are a 10-chair salon, bigger space. We have 14 stylists working there. I call myself a lazy salon owner. Truly, I don't really do much for the salon. And I used to really be scared to tell people that because I was like, oh, as a salon owner, I should be all in. This should be my fucking life. And when I was 19, it was. And it was the thing where I was working 8 million hours a week. I would work 12 hours behind the chair, go home and work more on my computer for the salon to market and get people in and do the website and all the things. And you own a salon, so I'm sure you get this, right? It's a lot in the beginning. And then I thought it was just going to be the beginning, but it didn't quite stop. So after a couple of years, I was like, I got to figure my shit out. This is not going well. And I learned how to basically make a business that now has made multiple millions that runs itself. So I'm in there twice a week doing whatever I want to do.
I love that. You know what's so funny? You saying you're a lazy business owner, salon owner. I always say I'm a lazy stylist. And I feel like that makes me sound so bad because it's like, oh, you don't care about your clients. And it's like, no, that's not it. I just don't feel the need to overcomplicate things for the sake of overcomplicating things. I feel like sometimes I watch the shit people do and I'm like, why? You had 15 steps, but step 7 through 14 was actually wildly unnecessary. And I've just found I swear across the hair world, it doesn't matter if it's color, if it's extensions, salon owning, even shit ordering retail or people they overcorrect. And all of a sudden it's you are making this so much fucking harder than it has to be.
Well, okay, let me ask you this, because I think I used to fall into that category of the overcorrecting because I thought it made me more professional. So I was like, oh, the more I do, the more I know my shit. And what I've learned is the more I do, the less I know what I'm doing. At this point, if it's more than 3 steps, I'm out.
No. You're I can't do that. That's a lot of work I'm not really committed to.
Well, it's just if something is pointless and it's not actually converting to real results, why are we wasting our time on it?
I don't know. It's the same way where people are like, oh, when I do a foil, it's 175 foils that take me 3 hours to put in. And I'm like, don't get me wrong, the outcome is beautiful, but I use 20 foils and it looks the fucking same. And it's that kind of thing where I'm I don't want to subscribe to that anymore. So I always say I am the laziest stylist, meaning I want the quickest, most efficient way to get the perfect outcome. I still want the outcome, but I don't want to be sweating over it for 10 business days. I'm just not doing that anymore. I'm I'm too old for that. I'm rolling up on 40. I'm too old. Like, I don't want to do that anymore.
Bro, I need whatever you're on because I look older than you. The fuck is happening?
People have asked me, they're like, why do you look so young? I'm like, honestly, I think it's just sunscreen and my genetics. Like, I'm Puerto Rican. We're just known for looking young. That's all it is.
It's amazing.
Thank you so much. So, okay, what do you feel like? Because you work with a lot of different stylists.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you are booked and fucking busy all the time. And you work with anyone, it can be from like commission artist to booth renter to suite renter to salon owner to aspiring salon owner. Like, it's like across the board, right?
Yep, it is.
Love that. What do you feel like? Let's go with, like, let's say aspiring salon owners, those and salon owners, because I feel like those are sometimes always the trickiest because there's so much. What do you feel like is generally like a mistake you're kind of always seeing across the board, that when they come to you, they're like, Shelby, I need help. And you're like, step one.
So honestly, I think a lot of people have the aspirations without understanding what it takes. So they're coming to me to kind of figure out what it takes to become the salon owner. And it's not to say that they don't have what it takes, they just don't know. So I think a lot of people, when they're actually thinking about it, when they come for support, it's almost like a breath of relief for me, because I'm like, oh, cool, this person is trying to figure it out before diving headfirst. I did the opposite. I dove headfirst and drowned, before learning how to swim. And that was rough. But that being said, I think the number one thing that so many stylists really dive in and want to do is create the sexy environment. And they want to focus on the space and the vibes and all of the cute things. And today, I mean, even just I'm in Arizona, every new salon opening up is another multi-million-dollar build. And I see it and I'm like, why are we doing this? Because that's not the thing that's going to make you a talented salon or a busy salon or a booked out salon. No one really cares that much about the space they're sitting in. Do the vibes matter? Obviously, yes. But you guys, the people who are the busiest are the ones who are the most profitable are the salons who actually figured out their numbers first, figured out what commission rates they wanted to set. If they wanted to be rental, what rental rates they're setting. They actually understand numbers and understand business. And unfortunately, that's something that so many owners learn years and years and years down the line, me included. But I think that it's a rough world when you don't figure out the business first.
Yeah. And you know what's so funny? I understand that in a different sense because I'm lucky. Like, my salon here, it's 2 chairs, but they're both my chairs. Like, people have been like, can I work at your salon? And I'm like, this is so awkward. Absolutely not. But I also know, like, I do not have the time, the energy, or the mental capacity to bring someone in, train them how I would want them to be trained. Even if it was booth rent, I don't have the capacity for that. And I'm a person that, like, I like my space.
Yeah.
I like to come in when I please, leave when I please, leave it as messy as I please to clean up the next day. I am like I am the worst at that. Like, I'm literally looking at a mess I left yesterday and I don't care. Like, that's my problem after this podcast. But I agree that people don't understand what it's like. And I hear that a lot with people who want to have their own hairline. Like, I think it's something that, like, oh my God, people, they're like, could you imagine having your own salon and then having your own hairline and then you can order what you want? And I'm like, yeah, you are making it sound very fun. You're leaving out everything else. Because when people are like, well, Ani, how did you do it? I'm like, well, I tested factories. And they're like, how'd you test factories? I'm like, you have to know someone first.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, what if you didn't like the hair? I'm like, well, you're out the money. And they're like, sorry. And I'm like, what? Oh, did you just think we fucking crushed it every time? I wasted tens of thousands of dollars on hair that I didn't like the density, or I didn't like the seam, or the color was weird. And then it's not even like, okay, I got one weft and it's beautiful, let's launch. Did you test it for at least a year to see how it fades, to see how it lasts? Like, it's things that I think we look at, like, the fun of it. Yep. And then when it comes down to, hey, this is what it costs and this is what it looks like, and you have minimums you have to hit every 6 weeks, then all of a sudden people are like, maybe that's actually not like the path that I want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And is that what you see with salon owners too?
All the time. Well, and one of the biggest things that I really do tend to see that hurts salon owners who are established is a lack of a backbone. And I mean that in the nicest way. Salon owners can be very emotional, and that can be really good, right? Like emotionally connecting to people, it's what makes us so good at what we do.
Yes.
But holy fucking shit, the second you step into salon ownership, you better have a backbone of steel, and you better know how to actually tell your team no, how to give them the right answer to things. If you don't have the answer, do not pull something out of your ass. Actually sit and tell your team that you will find the answer. Like, learn how to be a human being that stands up for themselves, and also learn what you want for your business.
I 100% agree, dude, because I'm lucky. Like, I've had 2 assistants in my life and I've loved them both so dearly. I mean, honestly, I look back now and I'm like, oh, was I the best boss that ever existed? No. Like, I definitely could have been better. They're still both very successful now, and I love that for them. Like, I'm not a bad word to say about either one, but I look back now and I'm like, I don't like, for the second one, I was definitely prepared, but I was also overwhelmed. I was starting my hairline, starting so that it was like, you only have so much time and space. Do you know what I mean? But I agree. It's people don't recognize this is a lot of work, and you cannot be weak-willed because the stylists will eat you alive.
Yes.
Like, I'm not saying stylists are mean, but damn, y'all are fucking mean some days. They will shoot. I always say it's like, you know what? I'll throw myself under the bus. Like, my husband babies the fuck out of me. I am a sweet baby angel to him. Like, I can do no wrong, but like, I also know I can't walk all over him.
Yeah.
He would never tolerate it. I've always said before I married my husband, I'm like, if I meet a man and he lets me walk all over him, I'll do it. That's not my fault. You allowed it. That's on you, baby. You should have had, I don't know, stronger boundaries. I don't know what you want from me.
Yeah.
You allowed me to treat you that way. Sorry, I'm a piece of shit, I guess, but it is what it is. But I know a lot of women like that, especially like if you're a stronger personality, and stylists have very strong personalities.
Yes. Well, and I think one of the biggest things, and I mean no ill, what is the word for that? Yeah, disrespect by saying this, but stylists have ego. This is a completely ego-filled industry. And I see it every single day where students will join my world and I will tell them exactly what they need to do. And then they're like, oh, well, my plan's going to work better. Bitch, if your plan was going to work better, respectfully, it would have worked by now. It would have worked by now.
Would have fucking worked. Yes.
You are working for someone else because you decided that you wanted to be in their space. Why are you acting like you know better than the person who runs the space? Let them run. Like, listen, just be nice. Put your guard down a little bit. But dude, as a salon owner, be willing to say that.
You have to, yes. And also say it in a way that's not like, I'm gonna deck you, bitch. Like, whoa. I didn't say start a fist fight. Like, hold up. But do you know what's so funny? I do also feel that because I look very young, that does play against me a lot in the hair industry. And I'll be honest, it's mostly with straight men. Straight men, they don't like me. I'm just gonna, in the hair world, I don't know what it is about my fucking face or my energy or my aura, something about me, like knock back against me every step of the way. It's been a rare instance where I've met a straight man in the industry and like we end up being tight. Most of them are just kind of like, you don't fucking know. Like, it's a wild experience. And I literally have their names at the top of my head. I'm obviously not going to say it because it's like rude as shit. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's not like it's a generic, like one time I'm like, no, I see his face. I know his hair. I know his name. I know his wife's name. Like, something about me like irked them wrong. But I also think, like, talking about ego wise, I think it's also very important for stylists to understand, if you don't want to own a salon, you're not a failure.
Oh my gosh. Honestly, you guys, if I had to do it all over again, I don't think I would open a salon. And it's not because I don't love it. I think it's amazing. I love the space. It brings me so much joy. I would have probably been more profitable not ever opening a salon.
Crazy to say that.
Yeah.
And do you feel like when people come to you, they're like, I'm ready for the next step. I'm going to have millions of dollars in salon. Like, I'm going to be the most profitable salon. It's going to make me so much money. And are you just like, no, bitch?
It depends. Like, honestly, a salon can make you a lot of money. So do not get me wrong. Like, it can be a crazy profitable thing. Here's my vision or my view of things, though. I do hair. I'm an educator. I'm a salon owner. You have one cup full of energy, okay? So my cup is full, and I have to split that cup between 3 separate things. If I had one specific thing that I could pour all my energy into, that cup would be over fucking flowing with energy and be thriving, right? So the problem with salon ownership is that most owners walk into it with their one cup of energy and they are doing everything. And if you're doing everything, you don't have the energy to make it the most successful, beautiful thing in the world. you have to understand that sometimes you've got to learn delegation. You have to learn how to actually put things off of your plate, and you have to step into a role that honestly is completely different than the role that you first imagined it being.
Mm-hmm. Did you, because obviously starting a salon at 19, crazy. I know who I was at 19. There's no way I could have led anybody. I was still trying to figure out who I was, figure out my own life. Like that I never would have been able to do it. When did you start delegating in your career? Like how old were you? And were you like jazzed to do it? You're like, I'm begging you, take this plate. Or were you still kind of like,
Yeah. So I think I was 21 when I first hired somebody to help me with things. Oh, okay, we'll back up. At 19, I had an assistant. So I hired my very first employee was literally an assistant. So that was the first time that I delegated like behind the chair things. I'd be like, hey, go watch my client for me. I was jazzed to have her. That was very exciting. But I think a lot of stylists are in that zone, right? Where they're like, oh my God, if I could have a helping pair of hands, this is amazing. It was a little bit more normal and common. What got tough is when I had to actually change that and have someone co-manage my space or like help run the space, I could not give up control. And I thought it would be like the most exciting thing ever to have the help. And every day she was like, so what am I supposed to do? And I'd be like, sit and look pretty. Like I didn't have a list for her because I wanted everything to be the exact way I thought it should be. And in the end, that hurt me because I was spending money on an employee that was there and ready to take on everything. And I wasn't ready, you know?
Yeah. You know what though? I have one full-time employee. It's my admin. And I was ready to like throw up hiring him. What I think was my saving grace is it's actually my older brother, because I was sitting here and I'm like, I don't want to hire someone who just doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like I want to hire someone who cares just as much about my business as I do. And I sat there and I was like, I don't know if that person exists. And then I found out my brother and his wife were going to have a baby and all he wanted to do was be a stay-at-home dad. And I was like, actually, because he's one of the smartest, he's crazy fucking smart. He's so smart and like really good with tech. And I was like, if I pay you your salary from the job you're at now, will you come work for me? And he was like, yeah. I'm like, bet. And like, even now, and like, it's worked out wonderful. I pay him salary. I'm like, work when you want, don't work when you want. I'm not a babysitter. I literally don't care. Here's a list of things we need to get done this year.
Yeah.
Here's a list of things I'd like done this week. That's your problem. Like, I'm not a micromanager. And I feel like sometimes that makes me not a bad boss, but I'm like, you're an adult. Like,
Yep.
You do your fucking job.
Well, and you know what's funny in you saying that? Like, that's how I view anyone who steps into my space to work for me now, right? If you're a stylist in my salon, I don't want to babysit you and micromanage you. So if you're someone listening to this and you're like, oh yeah, I want a salon where I can be lazy, amazing. You're going to have to let go of so much control. If you want a salon where you are like knees deep in the business, figuring out how to scale it and how to quadruple your income year after year after year, your trajectory is going to look very different. I've decided that I'm good with where my salon is. My income is great from it. The girls' income is great. I will train them and teach them and grow them. But I don't need to be looking at 6 million numbers every day and wondering what I need to do and staying up wondering how to grow the business. Like, I know what it takes to grow it. And my team all is going to do their thing. And it's great.
What are like some things in your salon, either for your staff or for you as the owner, that might make someone kind of like, what the fuck? Like, you know, that trend where people are like, type B things I do that would make a type A person lose their fucking mind. Almost like that. Just like, what are some things you do that another salon owner would hear and be like, are you fucking nuts?
Ooh, I have a lot here, honestly. And like, some of it is so unhinged that I'm afraid I'd be canceled, and some is fine.
No, I want to hear the unhinged ones. I want those.
First things first, if you ever interview to work with me, I will tell you, if you don't love the word fuck, you probably shouldn't work for me. And it's not even like a love of it, but if you're uncomfortable with that word or uncomfortable cursing, like, my salon is not for you, we curse nonstop. And it's not like we're like some crazy group and it's me, I curse nonstop. So if you don't want to work for someone who curses nonstop, probably don't work for me.
I get it.
We have a vibe check when someone starts at the salon. Oh, Ani, this is not good.
Wait, what does that mean?
In our back room, we have a very large penetrative item.
It is an adult toy, is what you're telling me.
I'm telling you, hidden in in our freezer, okay? And it's so large, it's not going anywhere. Like, it won't fit on anybody. So it's not been used. Let's make that clear. That being said, basically everybody gets to go and see that in the first week that they work for me. And if they're completely, listen, HR doesn't exist in my world. I'm an HR nightmare.
So curse words, adult toys. Okay, got it. Have you ever had someone legit be like clutching their pearls? Like, I don't think this is right for me.
No, and truly, I think that that's because during our interview process, like, I have learned how to interview someone to make sure we get the right fit in.
Love that. You know what? That's fair. Okay. Any other absolutely deranged things you'd like to add in?
Not quite that bad, no.
Hell yeah. You know what? Okay. We'll keep skedaddling on from that then.
Oh my god.
I love it. You're like, I need to mention it's not used. That's my favorite part.
That would be like a health concern. I mean,
yeah, I'd be like, hi, 911. I'd like to report a crime. It's in this fucking salon. Oh my gosh. Okay, so
okay, wait. I'm so sorry. I just have to tell you this. As I'm telling you this story, there are Jehovah's Witnesses walking up to my door right now.
You're like, boy, do I have a surprise for you. I'll listen to you if you listen to me for a minute. Oh my God. Okay, so while they're knocking on your door trying to preach to you the word of the Lord, which is fine, okay. Okay, because I know, like I said, you work with a lot of people, and I know you also go over things like pricing. Guys, if you need a pricing baddie, Shelby is your girl. Like, if you are stuck on, like, I don't understand how to price, when to price, what to price, numbers don't make sense, someone says a number and you hide your head in the sand, like, Shelby's your fucking girl. So have you ever had someone come in and they're kind of like, I think I'm doing okay. I think I'm doing good. And then you run the numbers and you're like, bitch, you make no money. Like, you're in the negatives every day.
90% of the time, actually.
Really?
Yeah, more often than not. It is unreal. Out of every 10 students that I have, about one of them has their numbers in a place where I'm like, you're solid, girl. All of the rest are typically making under $20 an hour. And I'm sorry, that's not okay to me in this industry.
In these days, it's nothing. Yeah. What's the lowest? Like, that sounds mean. Like, what's the lowest you've ever heard a student making?
We had one student who had a singular service. So mind you, it wasn't like every single service, but her one singular service was negative $46 per hour.
No.
And I think one of the craziest things that we see day to day is that people's full highlights typically profit them the least out of any service. So you're telling me the thing that you're spending almost the most amount of time on and doing the most work for is making you less money than if you did a mini foil? I'm not cool with that.
You know what? I'm feeling pretty good about my 10 foils right now. Yeah, I'm not too mad about that anymore. Wow, negative 46. And I want to be so clear, if anyone listening, I'm not shitting on that stylist. Like, becoming good at numbers is truly, I feel, a skill like you would be anything else. The same way you had to work at highlights and perms and pin curls and blow drying hair and doing blowouts. Like, this is truly a skill. What the fuck did she say when you're like, hey, mama, you're negative $46?
So the thing with our pricing is, so we do pricing for our students, whether they're like a stylist or salon owner. So when you dive into my world, it's included in like all of our actual business trainings. So she went through the entire training, and then we have a community that's like very active. You're able to send messages in there. I give feedback to everybody inside of the community every single day. So she sent a message basically being like, hey girl, like, I did my numbers. Can I send them to you privately? And I was like, oh shit. Okay, yes, please go for it. She sent them my way, and immediately I saw them and was like, all right, this has to be fixed right away. Like, it's not even worth it for you to take these clients anymore. And I think the number one thing that I see when I really get to that point is it's less of emotional connection for me and more of let's fucking fix this and make your life amazing. Like, let's get this going now.
It's all logical. It's a number. It's a math equation. I'm sorry if this feels stressful. Don't even think about it. You have to change it now. It's no option.
Yeah.
Wow. Was she able to implement pretty quickly? Was she resistant? Like, how was it?
Yeah. So I made her a plan. The really cool thing about numbers is when you see something like that, all of your walls drop because you're like, oh shit. Like, I need help, right? So when we got to that point, it was easy for us to be like, here's the plan. Let's move forward with XYZ. We're increasing prices to this. This is how you're going to roll it out. And it's not just like, hey, here's how you change your numbers. It's really, truly, hey, Cynthia's going to be pissed about this. Let's talk about it. How do we make Cynthia feel okay with this? What's going to happen when Cynthia comes to you pissed? And we walk through a plan for every last thing so that you know that you're going to be good. And she actually was one of my students who had to do a price increase of over $100 for a lot of her services. That's insane. Like, you hear that and you want to poop on the floor. That's insane, right?
You're shitting a brick.
Yeah. So she actually, though, was able to roll out the implementation. And I will say that she only had, out of like her entire schedule, probably about 20% of her schedule full. So it allowed for a lot of room for us to get new clients in and to really change the pricing and to make sure that her marketing was set up to position her as the person who could charge the new pricing, right? So we did a lot of work with her to get her to the point where she could really launch and be like, cool, pricing is $100 more for all of my services. Here we go. And it was so crazy because when she did that, she sent me a message and was like, Shelby, people are like congratulating me and still coming in and they're excited to pay. So when you set it up right, like, magic can happen.
Yeah. Wow. How long did it take her to go from -46 to whatever she ended up at?
So we did a 6-week launch plan for her. So
6 weeks.
Yep.
Okay. Wow. I mean, that's still very fucking fast though.
Yeah. Well, and that's, it's funny because 6 weeks sounds like forever when you're making that little money. Any new client coming in was immediate. Prices are changed immediately, right? That being said, for any new client, it was like, hey, we're going to tell you, we're going to give you a little bit of time. This is the plan. And it was 6 weeks before new pricing was completely set and done.
Good. And how's she doing now? I'm the nosiest person ever. I love hearing
killing it. She's doing phenomenal. She's expanded. She was in like a little suite. She expanded to a bigger suite. She's got tons of people flooding her books. Like, she's doing great.
I love hearing things like that, dude. And what I also like is yesterday I actually was speaking to a friend of mine. Her name's Adriana. She owns 2 salons in Texas and she specializes in budgeting specifically.
Yep.
Like, when it comes to budgets, she's a gangster. Like, she helped someone that was $200,000 in debt get out of that debt in 2 years, which sounds like a long time. That's actually not a long time to get out of that much debt. Like, that's so great. And I think that people like her and you are so incredibly needed in this industry, especially when we're talking about money, because there is nothing more stressful. There's nothing that embarrasses you more. There's nothing that's more hurtful. And I think, like, coming from you I think it's important for an educator to, kind of like you said, you're like, I've seen it all. Like, from -46 to, I'm sure you've had people that were already profitable. They just wanted like the next step in stage.
Yep, for sure. Well, and honestly, like, there is no I was the girl who made negative money. When I first ran my numbers, I had negative profit. And it was terrifying. And it truly was that position where I remember every single day sitting on my kitchen counter, writing out my expenses, crossing things off, being like, can I get rid of this? Can I get rid of this? And my husband would literally be like, why are you doing this again? You just did this yesterday. How is this going to help you? But I didn't see a way out. So I thought the only way was to like cut every expense ever. And that's not the way.
I love that. I mean, I think that's also important. Something important to understand is this isn't about stripping everything great from your life, but it's, can you truly look at your life how it is and continue to live that way? And I think that's what scares people is sometimes, like, what's the saying? Like, the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. Sometimes people are like, well, I've been living in this quasi poverty state for so long. What if I change and it gets worse? Because one thing you and I have actually spoken about before, because I've known like large salon owners to hire like salon coaches, and that coach would come out and be like, you need to change A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z, 11, 12, 14A, 14B. And they had a full fucking salon walkout. Full walkout. And then I feel like as a student, you're like, yo, dog, like, you told me these things would make it better. And actually now I'm in a worse position. So how is it? I know you can't stop that from happening, but inside of your education and the way you teach, like, what are the things you do to make sure, like, if let's say you came to my salon, I have a staff of 12, you're not going to tell me to change things. That's going to cause a fucking gutting in my salon.
Right. Well, okay. So number one thing that I would really want to know from the salon owner is, do you actually love your staff? And that is a hard thing to say. But Ani, I cannot even tell you, since even like you and I worked together last, like the amount of salon owners that have been in my world that are like, my staff is horrible. They're mean, they're rude, they walk all over me, they can't listen to anything, they do whatever they want, they fight me with everything. If that is who you're hiring, your hiring process needs to change completely. And honestly, you might want a full salon walkout at that point. And that is really, really hard to say. But instead of letting people just walk out of your salon, fire them. Okay. If that's how you're feeling, fire them. Like, let's,
Bye.
yeah.
Okay.
But when you have a staff that you do love and you're like, dude, I need to change things because I'm making no money and I'm terrified and I don't know what to do, you have to understand that your team needs to know things. So you can't just be like, I'm changing XYZ because I need more money and like stomp out. They're going to be pissed. If your business isn't profitable, there will be no business, and hence they will have no place to conduct their business. And so having the conversation about that, I think, is really, really important. And also making sure when you are shifting things that it's not things that are harming your stylist's lives, right? So when you look at like, hey, okay, we're implementing like a new commission structure, and some of you are actually going to have to make less commission than ever before. Some are going to make more commission than ever before. First of all, just saying that and being like, hey, I'm cutting your commission by 50%, like that's not okay. Second, if you're going to do something like that, have a rollout period. And also, instead of just saying, hey, yeah, your commission's cut, let's coach your team to reach the numbers they need to actually reach so that they can maintain their commission level. Get on board with them and coach the fuck out of them. Help them reach that level so that you're profitable. And after 6 months, if they're still not able to hit those numbers, okay, then maybe have a conversation about what needs to happen next.
Yeah, at that point, it might truly be a stylist issue. Those are shitty conversations. Those conversations suck. Do you ever feel like, because I feel like as someone who has had like staff, things like that, I feel like it honestly just doesn't get easier though. Like I have hated, I've had to fire people. Like those conversations, I'm never like, I've done this so many times, it's great. No, I've hated it every single time. I've been uncomfortable. I think what I've gotten more comfortable with is the fact of it just has to be done.
Yeah, I actually agree. Firing someone is the worst thing in the entire world. It sucks. And yeah, it's hard because the professional thing to do when firing someone is obviously to have a meeting with them face to face. But then I think about that and I'm like, God, the stylist doesn't want to be face to face being fired in the salon and have to do a walk of shame out of the salon. Like, that's awful. Why is this the standard?
Don't make me pack my shit up and then walk like I'm gonna rob you. What do you mean? Yes.
So to me, I always want to take a very like human approach to things, right? If I know something would be the most uncomfortable motherfucking thing in the entire world for me, I'm not going to do it to someone else.
Yup. Yes. But look, I've been fired face to face, and honestly, there comes a point where also everyone just looks at each other and you're like, so I'm just gonna go? And like it's so funny when everyone's just kind of like, yeah, I guess that's it. Okay, I guess that's it.
Well, and truly, like, we make real connections with our stylists and with the people who work for us. So firing feels horrible.
Yes.
That said, yes, you're right. It does get easier mentally where like, okay, hey, this has to be done if I'm going to reach my goals or if the business is going to thrive and survive. And I think one of the things that I've gotten good at understanding is one bad apple can ruin the entire group.
You know what? I swear to God, it's like one of those sayings. I don't know if your parents told you this growing up, but they're like, you are who you hang out with. And you're like, you don't understand. It's not like that. I know she's a piece of shit, but like deep down, she's good. And they're like, nope, you hang out with a piece of shit. You are a piece of shit. Yep. And like, it took me being an adult to be like, damn, that was 100. You literally are who you hang out. That's 100% true. Yes. But it's the same with staff. You're right. One person whispering to other people and starting shit like, dude, the whole salon can literally go up in flames.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you ever had a student who's like, yeah, fuck them, let's fire them all?
We just had a situation, yes.
Even though you're not the one doing the firing, do you sweat a little bit? Are you like, okay, it's going to be gnarly, she's going to be upset, it's going to be high emotions, but we've got this? Are you ever just like, Okay, so I sweat for the salon owner, not necessarily for the stylists that are being assholes, if I'm being honest. But yes, like, and the number one thing that I want to make sure of is when this situation came up, I was like, okay, can we afford to be in this space alone? Because if you can't, don't go on a crazy rampage and have everybody leave. You know what I mean? But if you can, okay, well then why do we have our entire salon full of people that we dislike? And I feel like that's rare, right? Like that's not something that
happens all the time, but sometimes you do get to a point where you're like, I have had no backbone. Everyone's walked all over me. Everything has been horrible for years. And I'm in the position where like, I need to become a phoenix and be reborn. Like, this is fucking awful. And so that's kind of where we were. And she could afford, luckily, to do things on her own. And pretty much immediately after the original group of girls were fired, an entire new group is already there. In like a matter of 2 weeks, she was refilled. So
wow. That was going to kind of be like, not my next question, but of like, because you hear, I always say like, if a salon has a walkout, I actually don't assume that the salon owner is bad. I really don't, because like you said, there could be one bad apple. They could have poisoned everybody. And you know how catty the fucking hair industry is. So even if I were to hear like Sally Joe had an entire walkout, my first thought is that fucking sucks. I wonder what the true story was, because sometimes it's a mix of everybody sucked, including the salon owner. But I'll be honest, by the time a second walkout comes out, I'm like, do you think that's what the salon? Yeah, I've heard of that where someone's like, well, I had another walkout, but it's because they all suck too. And I'm like, okay, but like I do understand the words you're saying grammatically, but I don't really think we are like, you might actually be the problem there. So how also like, because let's say like, okay, a salon owner is like, yo, Shelby, fuck it, we got to churn and burn, we got to gut it all. How do you also make sure that the salon like doesn't get a bad reputation for that? Because salon reputation amongst stylists is also everything.
Yeah, so I think that was actually this specific salon owner's biggest concern, was like, hey, everyone in town is now going to like know about this. And here's my honest take on this. I don't think people care as much as you think they care. And I also don't think that reputation is something that follows you forever and ever. I think that you have the ability to change any reputation and the ability to kind of live your life the way you want to live it. And I will say that I realize this is an odd take maybe, but I just believe that like, I don't know, people can judge the shit out of me, hate my business, hate how I'm running things, hate my salon, and I'm still going to fill my salon. It doesn't matter.
I love that. Someone asked me once, they're like, but honey, like, how do you, because obviously having a hairline and then a hair extension method and teaching internationally now and now having my salon, like all these things, people are like, but like, someone had asked me, it's like, how did I find like the bravery to do it? Or it was something like that. And I was like, you just do it. I'm like, to be crystal clear, I have been scared shitless every step of the way. I was scared out of my fucking pants starting morning hair, I was more scared starting cease and desist because, oh my God, I love my stylist. But sometimes stylists are like, that method sucks. You suck. You're a piece of shit. And I'm like, you did it wrong. Like, you missed 4 steps. What do you mean? Like shit like that. And then having my own space, I'm like, can I afford it? Is this a smart move? How would I do classes? Like things like that. I tell everybody, I'm like, I have been scared every single step of the way. I have never looked at anything in my entire career. I've been like, it's going to be so easy. No, I'm shitting my pants. Like, are you kidding me? And I think that's something important for people to remember. Like, if you're in, and I'm sure you're going to like agree, but like if you're in a shitty spot, whether you're a commission artist, a booth renter, a suite renter, a salon owner, I'm not trying to say it can always get worse, but it sure as shit can sometimes.
Yeah.
But you can definitely always make it better. There is always an upside. You might have to trudge through mud.
Yeah.
You might fall. You might stumble. I can pretty much guarantee you're going to cry at some point, and you might have to invest in more deodorant or like a stronger deodorant. But like, it's worth it at the end to have those days, weeks, or even months of discomfort. So the next few years, you're not stuck in the same spot.
Yeah. Well, I tell everybody, like, listen, if you hate where you're at right now, you can keep on doing what you're doing and keep hating where you're at and hope that the consistency of just staying in the industry will move you. It won't, by the way. You've got to make changes. But maybe you can just stay there and hate it. Or you can try to do things. And will it hurt some people? Sure. But hurting some people in the long run is so much better than being stuck in a situation where 50 years from now you look back and you're like, my whole life is ruined. I fucking hate what I did. Why did I stay here? Like,
why was I miserable for 20 years?
Discomfort is quick. Like getting through that getting through all of the heavy things can take a week. Like honestly, if you're just gonna like roll through, it can take a week, even less. It can take a day.
Yeah.
And then
You know what? And I feel like with ADHD, this is same, but different. There are so many tasks that I put off that I'm like, I don't want to do that. It's going to take forever. It's going to take so long. I'm not going to lie, girl. Dishes and laundry are the worst. Like I do my dishes every day, but
Yeah.
there are times where I look at it and I'm like, it's going to take me an hour. And then I'll be like, time it. Just be quick. Girl, one time it took me 45 seconds and I was so embarrassed that I spent an hour walking by it going, I can't do that. It's going to take all day. I was like, Ani, that's fucking embarrassing, bitch. Like you should know better. Like what the
That
fuck?
is hilarious. Do you
Yeah,
know the
but
girl on TikTok that times herself doing all of the household tasks that she's putting off? Have you seen her? Yes, it's amazing. Anytime I see her videos pop up, I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna go do it. Fine.
fine. Stop yelling at. I'm always like, did you kiss the brick before you hit me with it? You don't have to treat me that way. So talk to me about your education. Like what's included? What does it look like? Like what's included in all of this?
Ooh. I guess it depends on kind of where you're at and what you're craving, right? So the number one program that I think that we are really focused on selling, growing, and getting people into this year that helps them the most is the Scholars Club. So what that program is it's basically I always want to call it like a mastermind, but it's not really a mastermind, okay? It's like a 12-month program. You dive in and you're able to learn all of the trainings from me that walk you through the foundations of what you need to really create a thriving business. So what you need to be doing every single day to really grow, get more clients in your chair, increase your profits, and really, really do well. And these are all really boring words, and it sounds so boring. It's so much fun. Like people come in and they're able to actually be like, oh shit, this is why my stuff's not been working. Like this is exactly why it's not going well and what I need to change. And we really focus on messaging, marketing, and ensuring that you are telling people really clearly what you do and how you do it so that they become obsessed with you and they want to come and sit in your chair and like see you, right? And I think it's just really fun and it's kind of a fresh approach on like marketing, social media, all the things. And I think that yeah, it's just really neat. But anyway, people dive in. They're able to go through all the trainings. We have a really, really rock solid community. I'm in there every single day, which I think is just very fun. So anyone has a question, I'm in there responding to you, sending you a voice note, telling you exactly what needs to be fixed, what you need to change. I give full audits to people all the time. So if you're like, what do I do for my social media? I'm stuck. Or hey, can you go and look at the past 10 posts I've done? Like I'm going through and giving you real life feedback. Same with websites. Like I help redo your whole website. And this year, the biggest thing that we've done is really made it as accessible as possible for people. Because in the past, in order to be in my world and to have that type of support, we were charging $3,500 for 6 months. And this year, it's literally $77 a month for people to dive in. So super fun. It's amazing. I love it. We have 2 group calls every week too, where you can hear me just rant and talk to you, and they're all Q&A calls. So super, super fun.
I love that. But you know what? I truly do think like that the stylists need that help
Yeah.
because you are truly dealing with the thing that stylists are the worst with, and that's money and growing a pair, which sounds so mean, but it's true. Stylists don't want to hurt people's feelings. Like, girl, I was literally talking to a friend yesterday and she owns a pretty large salon and she's just kind of hit the point where she's like, I think I'm over it. She's like, there's a lot of stuff changing in her life. And she's like, I don't think I want to do this anymore. And I said, girl, sell it, be done. And then she and this is why I know like it's so emotional. Like she kind of started tearing up and she was like, I don't want to ruin their lives. I said, hold up. They are adults. I said, Mama, if you walk in tomorrow and you're like, fuck y'all, doors are closed. Oh, yeah, you're a piece of shit. Then you fucking suck. But if you give them a quarter's notice, 3 months notice of like, hey, this is why I'm making this change. This is what we're doing. I will help you find a new salon. I will write you referrals. You can take all your clients. We'll inform the clients. We'll get you set up because she truly loves her girls. Yeah. She has other things she wants. Like you said, it's the bucket. It's the cup. She wants other things to put her attention to. And she's like, I don't want to do that anymore. And she's like, and truly, I think I could be a lot more profitable without it. And I'm like, for sure could. And so, but it's so interesting that guilt of like, if I close my salon, I'm going to ruin their lives. I'm like, that's not true. That's not even close to true.
Yeah. Yeah. You're actually giving, well, I don't know. It's always my number one thing to say, like, I want my entire team to be better than me and to do more than me and to be fucking amazing. And I will help them in any place they need to get there. And if I were to want to close my salon, I think immediately I'm like, all right, opportunity for other girls to buy my salon, take it over. or opportunity for them to go and create their own really cool thing. Like you're actually kind of creating more opportunity, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, and I love that. So that's your biggest one this year is going to be Scholars Club.
Yep.
77 bucks a month is nothing. Are you
Yeah,
kidding me?
well, and I will be really honest, like that one is more geared towards like stylists, suite owners, salon, rental stylists, not necessarily the salon owner. So the salon owner is a little, that's called the Legacy Club. That's our program where we really are working one-on-one with you. So it's like you and me chatting every single day in DMs and like getting you to the level where you need to be. And the reason why we kind of separate the two is because as a salon owner, when you're kind of in the mud and you feel like you're dying a little bit, you need more than just a group program where you get trainings and 2 calls a week. Like sometimes you need someone to spiral to, and I become that girl. And so, so that's the Legacy.
You're like trauma dump. I got it. It's fine.
Listen, I'm like, there's something maybe wrong with me where like I'm not gonna absorb your trauma. You can dump it all on me, and I will listen to it and be like, all right, girl, I feel you, I hear you. Let's fucking change it.
You're like, crazy work, dog. You know what? I'm actually very good at that. I'll be honest, except for this is so irrelevant, but semi-relevant. Are you up to date on Punch the Monkey?
Yeah. I'm chronically online, of course.
I can hear any amount of trauma and crazy shit, and I'm like, I can hear it, water off my back. But Punch, I have cried so many times over that fucking monkey. Something in me, I'm just like, why are they so mean to him? He's just a baby. And now I heard the zookeeper is trying to adopt him, the one that Punch loves the most, and I'm like, that. I absorb the fuck out of that trauma. It hurts my feelings every goddamn day. Every time I see a monkey bully him, I'm like, I will eat you. Like, just stop.
Oh my god. So him carrying around a stuffed animal actually reminds me of my youngest daughter because she has a penguin that she carries around everywhere, and I'm like, oh, it looks like Penny holding her little thing. But
you're like, that's why I'm also convinced I couldn't have kids. You bully my kid, I'm gonna fight the parent. I'm gonna take you all back. I'm gonna be that parent. So you know what? Maybe it's good that God was like, Ani, we don't think kids are for you. Like maybe we shouldn't release that menace onto the world because I would be a menace of a parent. I would.
That's hilarious.
I know, I'm a psycho. Okay, so I love that though. So if they need the one-on-one, Legacy is definitely for salon owners.
Yep. Well, and we have salon owners in the other program. It's just Legacy is when we're gonna rebuild your entire life. Okay, we'll make it like feel good.
I love that. Could someone start in Scholar and then like upgrade to Legacy if they're like, hey, this is good, but it's not enough. I need more.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we actually have people do that 99% of the time. I don't want you investing in like one-on-one support if it's really not what you need, because then it's a waste of your money. So I would rather you start in the lower ticket program, learn everything you need to learn. And then if you're like, all right, bitch, I want to talk to you every day, we can totally bump you up to the other program.
I love that. Okay, so let's say there's a stylist, they're listening, they're hearing it, and they're like, Shelby, how do I get a hold of you? What is the best way to contact you?
Honestly, Instagram. So it's at Ivy League Stylists with an S on the end. And yeah, just shoot me a message. I'm in there every day responding to people and getting back to y'all.
Awesome. I love it. And guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, I am going to have her linked down below and have her website linked down below. Dude, Shelby, thank you so much. I'm telling you, every single class, I get stylists being like, what about pricing? I'm like, if you want something in depth, I send them to you every single class. I'm like, Shelby's your girl. She has a whole formulation. Like, it's a whole thing with her. Like, she is the one you want. I'm really good with math and numbers that are my own. I'm not here to run your business. I'm like, if you need it, because that's the thing, like my numbers are not going to work for anybody else ever for any reason. Like your numbers don't work for anybody else. People need to realize like you need your own, like copying the neighbor next door is fucking dumb.
Yep. That's how you end up making negative $46.
Yeah, that hurt. You know what? Good for her though. Fuck yeah. I hope she becomes a millionaire.
Listen, yeah, I can talk about her like this because I know she's thriving. So.
Yeah, literally, that's the only reason why. You're like, if she was still broke, this would be a very different conversation. No, I love that. So stylists, if you guys are listening right now and you're like, damn, this sounds like something I need, reach out to Shelby. I've always said like, there are very few people in the industry that I would stake my reputation on. You are one of those very few people. Like, I know you, I know the work you do, and it is just so fucking good. And I think you also handle these very sensitive topics with such like an empathy, kindness, and humor that I think is needed. Otherwise, it's heavy. Like The
Yeah.
stylists are stressed out. You know what I mean? So I love that.
The one thing I will say is like I tried to have other coaches in the past when I was drowning, and they all just made me feel dumb. And I do not want anybody to ever feel dumb or feel like they like don't know. I will walk you through every last step you need to actually feel so good and to understand the world and to just thrive.
I love that. And you know what? I feel like that's how I am with extensions. When people are like, I know this is a dumb question. I'm sorry to bother you. I'm like, dog, everything I know now, there was a time I didn't know shit, bitch.
Yeah.
I'm not here to make anyone feel dumb, stupid, or like you're bad at hair or you should quit. Like, that's not, ask the question so I can help you.
Yeah.
Like, and it's one thing like when you are, and you know, when you're so passionate about what you do, you're like, no, ask me more questions. Like, keep going, keep asking because it's so fun to explain.
Yes.
Like, it's fun.
Well, also, just my God, sorry, Ani, you're like, bitch, let's end this. If you guys are in a program right now and you're like, I wish I had more support, fucking ask. Just go and ask the person who's leading it. Be like, hey, I'm really curious about this. I'm curious about this. The one thing that I've learned with paying so much for years of education is you're not going to get anything out of it if you're not actively in it. So ask questions, do everything, be annoying, think of all the things. And it's not actually annoying. It's really, really fun for the people who love this.
Literally. Oh, well, thank you so much for taking like almost an hour out of your day today. I know you are so busy. Like, thank you. And guys, like I said, if you want to learn more about Shelby, an Ivy League stylist, find her on Instagram. If you're on YouTube, I have all of the links down below, but like, you're going to love her. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.